Hey everyone, you're watching Soundwaves TV, Chasta here, and I am absolutely thrilled to have a muse in music and in my personal life, someone I look up to truly, Miss EllaHarp, back with us on Soundwaves TV.
Hi, Chasta.
It's been forever.
I know.
2019. I actually looked
Crazy.
at that because a couple days ago I was like, gosh, I get to talk to Ella on International Women's Day, by the way. Not when you're watching this, but when we're filming it. And I was like, gosh, it's been a long time since we've had you on the show. And I looked and it was 2019. I was like, holy hell, like that's a lifetime. Anything pre-COVID.
Oh my God, yeah. And in so many ways, even just for me as well, that it feels like it's just a totally different entire world.
You're kind of a different, almost person at this point.
Yeah,
I mean,
100%.
You've had 2 full new albums in the last 5-ish years.
Yep.
A new band, not even really new anymore, but newish since then. And you're married.
And I am. And I hadn't even met my husband last time I was on the show.
Wow.
So
When
that's
did you
pretty
meet
crazy.
your husband, by the way?
In the end of fall, I guess, like September of 2020 or 2019.
Okay,
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, so right after you were on the show.
Yep.
And we were your good luck charm, I guess.
I think you were.
Well, you've been married a couple of months. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
How's it going?
Great.
You're an expert.
I'm an expert. Yeah,
Yes.
2 whole months in.
Yeah.
I'm just floating on air, honestly. I'm still
honeymoon
super excited about it.
phase.
Yeah, I'll take it as long as it lasts.
I just have to tell you. So the way I describe you might make you blush. But I was actually just talking to someone about you saying, oh, have you heard of Ella? Well, she's this ethereal, whimsical, beautiful, angelic woman. And it was so funny when you posted on social about your wedding. I was like, yep, that is EllaHarp's
God.
wedding. Because you're standing on a bluff and you're in this gorgeous wedding dress that you made.
I did make the dress.
I mean, what? Are you kidding me? Do you see why I said muse? It was just so perfect. You looked
Thank you.
stunning. You guys look so happy.
We were really happy. You know, it's a lot easier to take good pictures when you're not lying.
I know, right? Exactly. When you're like, this is my bliss.
We're really happy. Yeah.
That's fantastic. So let's go back a little bit.
For sure.
2 albums, which I have listened to, I cannot even tell you so many times. You are like, when I'm having a stressful day or like things feel like life's spinning, which is a lot.
You don't say.
I love listening to you.
Oh my God, that makes me so happy.
Especially like looking at water or
Yes.
on the coast. I know that sounds strange, but we both live on the coast.
Yeah, and that is, I mean, half of those songs were written in exactly that setting anyway. So like,
It just has that spirit to it. You know,
that's the best thing to hear.
So I owe you a lot of money in therapy because you were like a therapy artist that I put on. And it's just whimsical is the word. It's just so beautiful.
Thank you so much for saying
giving
that.
us
Oh my
your
God.
talent.
Thank you for listening to my talent.
It's incredible. It really
Talent
is.
in air. I'll put it in air quotes.
Yeah, and we've been listening to False Bottom Band because you play banjo as well.
Yes.
In that band, and my son is a banjo player now.
That is the cutest thing ever. Does he have a tiny banjo? That's my question.
He has a tiny banjo. He has. I bought him a big. No, I didn't buy him. Sorry, Santa. Santa brought a big banjo
important
at
differentiation.
Christmas. Yeah, and it's a big boy banjo.
Yeah.
It's like a real size banjo. I
Yeah.
guess, which Santa didn't realize. That there are differences, right? So
Right.
this giant banjo, so he still plays his little banjo until he kind of grows into it.
Yeah, for sure.
But anyway, he's very interested in that bluegrass music. So
That's
your
awesome.
False Bottom Band is right up his alley.
Yes, that's hilarious because he has a big banjo, but he has a small banjo, and I started with a big banjo, and then I actually made my banjo to be smaller because I was like, even for me as a whole human, I was like, this is too big as a tall whole human.
And it's heavy.
They're so heavy.
That's what I didn't realize.
Yeah, no, they're super super heavy.
And
even
I have
the
to imagine
like
your,
open back.
Your harp, well, his is open back.
Oh, yeah.
The new one is not. It's like it's a body and it's
Nice.
heavy. And your harp, I have to imagine, is pretty light.
My
especially
harp is
the metal
pretty light.
one.
Yeah, it's not that bad. I feel like
Yeah.
I feel like I weighed it once. I think it was like 11 pounds or something.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to make another version of it that's going to have aluminum pegs, and that one's going to be even lighter. I think it should be like 9 pounds, but I'm guessing.
Wow.
Shot in the dark here.
That's amazing. I remember when I met you, you had a wooden harp.
Yes.
And you put down the wooden for the metal.
That's right.
And we were like, God rest your soul.
Yes,
You've done
yes,
well.
we love you.
You've done well.
You're a beautiful instrument.
Yes, exactly. How did the False Bottom Band come to be? Like, how did that work out for you?
So it was the beginning of the pandemic, and I was working at Hop Dogma as a bartender,
Love
beer tender.
Hot Dogma, yes.
Love
Yep.
Hot Dogma.
Yep.
Represent.
Yep.
And I worked on Monday and Wednesday during the day, which is like dead, obviously.
yeah.
So I'd come in, and at that point we were doing like to-go stuff only, and people couldn't stand in the top room more than one at a time. And so, you know, on a Monday and Tuesday afternoon, it wasn't like hopping.
Yeah.
So
I would imagine.
we started, I mean, Dan and Jesse, Dan Littlefield, who owns the bar, and Jesse Jones, who's the head brewer. And Dan started playing the dobro, or he started like playing with like bottles and stuff on his guitar, and finally got a dobro, and like just was like like, I really want to play like some music. So Ella, bring your harp in on Monday, or like bring your harp in on Wednesday. So I'd bring my harp in, and then we'd go out in the hallway and just like start playing stuff, and we'd record it. And then someone would like walk into the bar and be like, hold on, and like run in there and like put the mask on and like, okay, are we good?
A silver lining to the pandemic.
Yeah.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
And so it just was born.
It just kind of went from there. And then we got Lisa Marie involved, who is Lisa Marie Johnson, who's a fantastic singer.
Yes.
And then we got our fiddle player and our mandolin player and then a bass player. And before you know it, we were 7 people.
I was going to say, I knew there were a lot. I didn't know how many exactly.
Yeah, 7. So it started out with just Dan and Jesse would joke that they were the false bottom boys, because obviously it's like the, oh brother, where art thou? Soggy bottom boys. Like, oh, the false bottom, because they're brewers and they're nerds.
Yeah.
And brewing nerds like to use brewing terminology. So it's like the false bottom, which is like you think you've hit the bottom, but like there's more to go.
Yeah.
So anyway,
what a great name.
It is a great name. Yeah. It's hard to explain though. And it gets like miswritten a lot. Like we've been written like in print or on like posters and stuff. We were the bottom of the barrel band.
Oh.
The false backside band.
Oh.
And there's a couple of other like humdingers that I can't.
Bottom of the barrel
recall.
Though is kind of
that was good.
Good. That's a good
I know.
one.
I was like, okay, well maybe you're just naming us something better than we came up with ourselves.
Yeah. Well, when my son picked up banjo, which was a surprise, like my husband's a drummer, and I just assumed drums, and he plays drums and he loves them, but he's fallen head over heels for the banjo. And so whenever we go to New Orleans, he busk. Oh. And Jay plays the spoons for him. And so,
I cannot picture anything cuter than that.
It's the cutest thing. And I'm just over there, their big cheerleader. But my point is they were trying to think of a name. And they were like, well, we have to have fog in it because of Pacifica.
Obviously.
And so they were like, fog boys, foggy bottom boys, like something like that. And so that's kind of where they're at right now.
Oh, that's adorable.
We'll see what they land on, when they actually like launch themselves.
Oh, yeah. When they go
happen.
Aim for the stars.
Exactly.
No, I mean, honest to God, like I say this with like, because it's adorable, but like that kid is going places.
Oh, thank you. He's something else. We call him our Buddha boy because he's he's wise beyond his years.
He certainly is.
He teaches me a lot. I'll say that for sure. It's wild to think about, your child growing up, like you don't know what they're going to like.
Yeah.
And you want to impress on them, but then you also don't, like you don't want them to be little mini yous. You want them to find their own way. So
they go off and become banjo players. It happens to some of us.
And I love bluegrass. I mean, I'm from Oklahoma.
For sure.
So but I just didn't expect him to find it on his own, I guess.
I love that.
Word. Yeah. So big fan of what you do in our house for sure. So going back to Ella, how do you balance like EllaHarp solo and the false bottom band? Like what's your vibe, your work-life balance, if you will?
My work-life balance.
As if that even exists.
Yeah, I mean, if it does.
Yeah.
I mean, I love playing with the band. The band's been amazing. And honestly, it's so hard being a solo artist. I mean, it's hard in any iteration of doing it. And obviously there's challenges in having 7 personalities at the same time as well.
Yeah.
But, it's really... when you're a solo artist, you go everywhere alone, and you're being like, "Come and see me."
Yeah,
come out and see me
on social media.
Like, come and see me, please. And when you're in a band, it's just like, "Hey, come and see us." And there's so many people, and like, it's a fun vibe. I love it, and I love all these people so much. So just like having the connection between everyone,
community.
Totally. I really love that. So I mean, I suppose with my own music, I just kind of do it in my own time and everything. But I'm way more excited about band gigs than my own gigs for the most time.
That's so interesting. I never really thought of it from a promotional angle, though.
Yeah.
Come see me versus come see us. I'm sure it is a lot easier.
Yeah,
I've
been on like a self-promotion burnout recently. I actually didn't really play very much in the last year. I'm kind of starting to get my groove back in that. But you start to feel like a scam artist. Like every person you see, you're just like waiting for the right time to be like, hi.
It's hard. Well, I'm actually been trying to come out of a burnout phase with social media.
Yeah.
And I got smacked around
at
this table by Mikey Ross, who was like, enjoy the process, which he's right. Enjoy the process.
Yeah.
Easier said than done. Because I'm with you. I'm like, I do radio shows and podcasts, and you're like, listen, check it out. Soundwaves TV. You feel like a promotional machine sometimes.
Right. Yeah.
But it is what we do.
It is what we do.
And you want to put it out. It's your art. This is our art. Like you want to put it out there, but it's a weird balance.
Yeah, it's a weird balance.
To not feel like that. You know? Okay, so as I mentioned, we are filming on International Women's Day, and we just had Pamela Parker in, and so I was like, God, the stars aligned. We didn't plan that, by the way, but the stars aligned that I got to like hang out with 2 amazing rockin' females on this day, like so cool.
Meant
and
to
I was totally, and I was telling her this morning, like I woke up kind of questioning myself on what that means in 2025.
Right.
Because I've been asked in interviews that people have done with me, like, how does it feel to be a woman in a male-dominated industry? And I always said the same thing because it was true. I don't really think of it like that.
Yeah.
Like when I go sit in a conference room, with my radio station and I'm the only woman there, at a corporate level or whatever, I don't think about it.
Yeah.
But then I thought this morning, maybe I should. Like maybe I should be thinking about this because there is something to say right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of things to say.
I never thought we would be back around.
Yeah.
To where we are.
Yeah.
But
same.
maybe we should be leaning into that femininity, if you will. Do you think about that much?
I mean, I rabbit hole and not always the best of rabbit holes.
Yeah. Same.
So I try not to let myself think too terribly much on things. And I mean, I obviously think about them, but the spiraling aspect is sort of a byproduct of that for me. So I try to make sure that I'm, keeping a level head and avoiding things that I need to avoid and trying to do my best for myself personally because, it's obviously there are things that an individual can do, but on the large scale of things, it's easy to get really bogged down by stuff. And if you're bogged down enough, it's hard to get anything done. And if I can barely conduct my own little tiny life,
totally,
then I'm definitely not doing any good if I'm
us.
just sitting in my PJs with a, little cry fest going on. So, but I mean, I think there's obviously also positive spins to be taken on that as well. And kind of centering in, be like, well, this is what we're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think, it is amazing. I think I've had a lot of conversations about that recently with friends. Like, what can one person do? What can we individually do?
Yeah.
And, it may have sounded like a joke earlier when I was talking about you with therapy, but it's not, know. And what you do in the world is putting that positivity out there and is calming somebody that you don't even think about.
Yeah. And it's hard to think of myself in that way. But if I think of obviously other music and how much that's saved my ass, then it stands to reason that after doing this so much and having put these albums out that my music must be that for someone else. And that's, it's helpful to remember that when we are in the depths of our burnout.
Yes.
To be like, there's continuation can feel like a hard stop sometimes, but it's a constantly evolving thing.
And art is so important now more than ever.
Art is so important,
now more than the self-expression that comes in music.
For sure.
When you're sitting down to write, and I don't know how much you've done that this year, you said, but when you are sitting down to write, where is that inspiration coming from? Where are you pulling from? I'm not a prolific songwriter at all. Well, really, I would argue with that. Not at all.
I mean, prolific in the sense of well, in all senses of the word, but I mean it specifically in this instance as it's not I'm not a frequent, I can't just write a whole lot. Last year I wrote one song. I love it. It's a really killer song, but I feel like there's a couple of different ways of approaching songwriting. And I've always heard that, if you're not writing through the crap or whatever, then you're not going to get anything good. But I feel like I just hypothesize through the crap. I make myself so sick of it that I don't even start. And then eventually something will show up and it'll be decent. And then I'll be like, okay, well, this is a song. And then I just get that. So last year it was just the one. And I think I maybe had two before that. But I don't get a lot.
Well, I mean, but go with the winners.
Yeah,
it's working
exactly.
for you.
Thank you.
So I was reading a book this week, and it was talking about morning pages. I don't know if you've ever heard of that idea, but as a writer, just getting up and free form writing about whatever for 2 pages or whatever it is, just to get the crap out.
Yeah.
And the idea is that so much crap does come out. It's amazing how negative you can be.
Yeah.
In the first light of day when you're like, "Brah."
Yeah, exactly.
But maybe that is helpful to get to the good stuff.
Yeah. I think that I think about that. I think about things. I think about concepts, and I just I literally making nauseating myself. I'm like, that's just terrible. And I do something else, and then
that's the hard part of being an artist. Though.
Yeah,
you're gonna be your most tough critic
for sure. But in terms of inspiration and where things come from, it's a lot of it's kind of what's going on, or sometimes I just pull things out of who knows where, and it's just inspirationless almost. Yeah. But I think a lot of it is just kind of things that have happened in my life. And, sometimes they're good things. And when they're not, I just try and make it as vague as possible. So that whoever it's about doesn't figure that out really easy.
Yeah, exactly. I love that.
Yeah.
Your husband, is he a musician?
No, not at all.
Is he in music at all?
No.
No.
No, he hums sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were you ever going to hear him humming in the background of a song?
Dear God, no. No, I mean, the man is
No
lovely.
offense, love.
But
No
something
offense.
about tunes and buckets and carrying them, it's not happening.
Not for him.
He is delightfully, wonderfully fantastic, though. And actually, you know, I've only ever really kind of been around and dated like artistic people.
Yeah, that's why
and
I asked, 'cause-
turns out shit ain't for me. I mean, it's great and all.
Loving a music man, I know
But,
what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, you know, we're artists. I mean, obviously, I'm an artist,
Yeah.
so it's take this with with the love that it's meant. But we're kind of the worst.
Yeah.
Like, I love where we get the good stuff, but like we're so dramatic. We're like everything has to be just right, and we're like, and then when you have multiple people like that, we're all just like, I
Yeah.
need my process, and like, well, I need my process. And I go, oh my god. My
All
God.
the processing.
Oh my God. So my
he's
husband
your-
is not at all. And it's
That's great.
Yeah, it's so nice because he's just kind of like, just kind of
level.
Yeah.
Kind of even.
Kind of even.
That's great.
And not, I mean, not that he isn't creative and not that he isn't brilliant and all the other amazing things about him, but like that creative, like drama queen
Yeah, yeah.
aspect of us is not
The
there. And I
artiste.
do appreciate the absence of that. I'm not going to lie. I have enough for both of us.
Yeah, right. You're like, I'll carry that.
Yeah,
torch.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
fine. I mean, your creativity, it just feels like spills out of you, not just in music, but also in making clothes, jewelry. I do need to place an order for the moon necklace, by the way. Before,
hell yeah.
Before you leave.
Let's go.
Yep. Like your jewelry and your, like, talk about your artistry that isn't music.
That's huge for me. And especially in the last couple of years when
Yeah.
I've been kind of, at burnout central.
Yeah.
The creativity has been really big for me. You can't see them because they're like hidden, but I made this pair of jeans and I entered this like
course you did.
365-day denim fading competition.
I saw that.
Yeah, I got third place.
You got third place? I didn't realize that. Oh
No,
my God.
Yeah, it was crazy. I pissed a lot of people off because I was like one of the only women in there and everyone was like, "Arr," and all this stomping around, it's
I
all fun.
love that. Happy International
But
Women's
it's
Day.
International Women's Day, so suck it.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I know, it was crazy.
What made you decide to do that?
I started liking, I never liked jeans and I always tried not to wear jeans, which not that any of that matters, but like I just couldn't fit anything because I'm tall and awkward and my legs are too long. So I started wearing men's jeans and I started making jeans. It just seemed like an interesting challenge of like trying to limit personal daily choices and like not take forever and a half to like get ready.
Yes, absolutely.
Because I can do that. Because you got to figure out who you want to be.
Same.
In a day.
Yeah.
And then how your clothes are going to reflect it. And it's exhausting. So I was just like, let's have some uniform going down here. So yeah, it was really fun.
Wow, that's trippy.
Yeah.
How long? Because you sew and all of it, you make everything. How long have you done that? Was that like a childhood thing? Or?
I started I've always been like creative. I didn't start really making my own like sewing stuff. I started trying in college and then kind of out of college, I started hand sewing and then I started machine sewing and then I started kind of designing my own stuff. And then it's been a really long road, but I mean, it's been probably since 2016, I guess. Almost everything's been mine. They just for a long time it looked like they.
It looked like it was. See what
Didn't look very good.
I mean by the muse? I mean, you make instruments. You made your harp.
I did, and
you
my
make
banjo.
instruments. You make clothes. You make jewelry. You make music. Like, stop it. Stop. Give something for the rest of us. This is ridiculous.
Honestly, though, Chasta, I'm just so cheap. That's really what it comes down to. I have this expensive taste. I got this really bad budget, and there's no other way around it. Like, if you don't make your own stuff, you just. And I'm too cheap for custom, and I'm too particular for anything else. So it's like, if you don't make it, you don't get it. So
it's so much better than fast fashion. I mean,
yes,
that I won't go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah,
but
well,
that is
we're the
terrible.
opposite of fast fashion here. These jeans took me 70 hours.
Wow.
I patterned and designed, and I'm slow as shit anyway. But yeah.
Wow. That's incredible. But how
Don't recommend.
cool to be able to like be like, this is mine. You walk around as your own.
That's the goal. If you make something, the goal is that you spend that much time and you get something that you hopefully like.
Yeah.
And I, over the course of a year, I wore them 353 out of 365 days. So I missed 12 days and I'm still wearing them. I love them. And they're like one of my favorite things. I have no idea if I'll be able to replicate it, but like,
wow.
Yeah. And that was another interesting thing because I've never worn anything I made that long. So
yeah. But I'm okay. Now I am going down a rabbit hole. Sorry, but like, think about
As
that.
we do.
Yeah, right. I have to process. Here we are, artiste processing. But I'm just thinking about landfill. Like, I'm going there.
Yeah.
Like, how much crap you're not buying.
Yeah.
And then purging and getting rid of, and
Yeah.
it just ends there rotting. Like, you're making specific items.
Yes.
Limited specific items.
Yes.
And then using the crap out of them.
Yes,
Like, that's the purpose.
That's the idea. Although the wearing the jeans constantly really did shift kind of everything in my kind of maker's direction as well, because no one really likes to talk about this in the like kind of maker side of things, but like there's a lot of waste in making your own stuff too.
Okay.
And when you mess up or when you make something and you find out you don't like it, and then there's a lot of that. And I've been reaching the point recently where it's like, I don't even like any of this stuff, you know, like I've made it for years and it's like, you still end up with too much stuff. So amazing. I really have appreciated the kind of like, you don't need that much stuff. You just need really good things and just wear them until they're dead, basically.
Yeah. Well, and you used to live in a tiny home. I don't know if you do anymore. But
not anymore,
like,
no.
You have to be very specific about what you keep
My
around.
space is a little bigger though, but it's not huge by any means. And yeah, I mean, I'm looking at all the stuff that where I am now has like no closet. So you're looking at everything that you own all the time.
Yeah.
But I do think there's something to be said about just having your favorites, you know, and it's not like limiting yourself or trying to make it negative or sad or hard. Yeah. It's just like, if you just have your favorites, then it's not like you're sticking it.
And it fits you.
Exactly.
Like these jeans I have on, like I feel so much better because I wear these jeans like almost every day.
Right?
Because I love them. They fit me. They're comfortable. I can breathe in them, but they still like work for my weird body shape.
Yeah.
Those things are important.
Yeah.
And to feel confident in the world.
Yes,
And like
exactly.
to go out and feel like yourself.
Yes.
And to own who you are, which you're very good at.
Thank you.
Yes. My little muse. Okay. So let's transition back to music.
Yes.
What's next for you?
What is next for me?
Existential questions.
I know. Well, I've been putting everything together and looking at like how much I actually have. And like new album is going to happen at some point. It'll probably be a while.
Okay.
The producer that I worked with for my last 2 albums is sort of going in a different direction. He got married as well, and his wife, and they're awesome.
Yeah.
And he kind of hit it big in the whole like ambient music scene, and
Fantastic.
isn't producing anymore, which is so great for him and so terrible for me.
Oh yeah.
So I've been working, you know, just kind of picking my pieces back up and trying to get my self together without having that component that was present for me for those 2 albums, which really kind of brought me out of my creative shell. So that can be hard to replicate, I guess.
Isn't it amazing how people can do that for you?
It is. And like, I mean, I did some work with another really great producer, and I need to go back and work with him again. I just kind of had some life stuff come up in the middle, and I think it's gonna work out really well there too. But it is crazy how, you know, that comfort level that you feel with someone and, you know, kind of what comes out on both ends is just...
It either works or it doesn't.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like that in relationships and friendships.
So it is.
I mean, from the second I met you, I felt like we were old friends.
Yep.
And it's amazing how you can feel like that, and then somebody else, you might not.
Exactly.
And there's no explanation for it.
Yeah, no explanation at all.
Except for maybe we knew each other in a past life.
I mean, that stands to reason.
That makes more sense.
I think Cody and I must have just been shredding on banjo somewhere back there.
Exactly. I'm so excited about his little banjo journey. He's going to I think it's called the California Bluegrass Association camp.
That is so
summer.
fantastic.
So we're going to see what comes of it. I don't know, but you need to play that. Speaking of, I'm going to manifest something for you.
Okay.
You've never played Bottle Rock, right?
I have not.
Why
no.
not?
Why not?
Why? Tom Hoppa, I'm
Why
looking
not?
at you.
Oh,
Why
no, I know
not?
Tom.
I
I've
know
talked
you
to
do.
Tom. Yeah.
I love Tom. He's
I know,
a dear friend of mine.
Yeah.
What? Dude, get on board. Like, what is happening? Because you are so, like, you would just blow the roof.
I know, I would
was
love
gonna say
that.
the roof. There's no roof at Bottle
Well,
Rock.
Tom's the
but you get
best.
the idea.
We won't hate on Tom. But,
No, I love Tom.
But yeah, I would love that. I would.
You would be so great. Like every time I'm at Bottle Rock, I'm like, Ella needs to be on this bill. And we've had artists at this table and be on Soundwaves that have ended
That's
up on that
so
bill.
awesome. Love
we're
that.
gonna manifest it.
Yes.
I love it. Right? Yeah. Well, as you head off in this musical journey, stick with us. Let us know how we can help.
Always.
We're such fans of yours. You already know that.
So back at you.
I mean, seriously.
You are the most inspirational.
Oh,
I swear to
you
God.
need
Every
to
time
stop.
I'm like driving and I have obviously 107 on my speed dial on the
Thank
radio.
you.
And every time I hear her, I'm just like, yeah, like I know her. We're friends.
I love that. I love it. I love that we live in the same area too.
Yes, I know.
You need to play at OPL again because that's
I
like
do.
my favorite spot.
I do.
Has
well,
it been a
the
while?
band is going to play there on the 26th of April. It's Lisa Marie Johnston's birthday.
Oh, fantastic.
And also Eric Schickenberg, who played bass with us for a while, his band is playing as well. And it's his birthday too, so it's going to be like it's going to be fun.
My God.
April 26th, y'all. You heard it here first.
Mark it down. That's
Yep.
happening. Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
I think she played there last year because I remember doing a commercial
Yes.
for her show.
Yeah,
That's
she had a great show last year as well.
Okay, well, consider us there. That's
Perfect.
fantastic.
Great.
All right, follow her, EllaHarp. Gotta order my earrings. Order jewelry, all the things. EllaHarp.com.
Correct.
Right? And across the board, congratulations on your wedding.
Thank you
That's
so
the most
much.
important part. The artistry comes after. The relationship's important.
You know, it is important because it gives you that kind of stable base.
Especially since you found your yin and yang situation.
Indeed.
All right, you're watching Soundwaves TV. We'll be right back.